I know my shit.
You don't.
Yeah, I do. I know things you could only dream of knowing.
It's untrue. What do you know?
I have information that
What do you fucking know?
I cannot share with you.
What do you fucking
that you
know?
would love to get your dirty little hands
What
on.
do you know about Emmannuelle's perfume?
I know that when used correctly, it can save a marriage. It can turn parents into siblings.
Wait, that wasn't the... no, hold on. That wasn't the takeaway.
But that's kind of...
Oh, no, it kind of was. Yeah, you're right, actually.
But I know stuff beyond even the Emmanuelle
What do you
franchise.
even know, though? Because you just keep saying you know stuff, but you won't,
I do.
You won't allude
and
to what
why would
that
I?
stuff
Why
is.
would I tell it to you when you want it so badly and I am the only one with it?
I don't give two
You do.
shits.
You keep asking.
I think that you are wrong.
I'm right.
And I want everyone to know that you're wrong.
I'm 10 feet tall and you're an ant.
I'm not an ant.
You
I'm
are.
a man.
You're not a man.
I'm a man of 5'10.5". God damn it.
That half reeks of insecurity.
It's a powerful half a foot.
Inch.
Huh? Oh, yeah, true.
5 foot.
Not
10.
used to dealing in Imperial, to be honest with you.
Why not?
Because it's not our way here.
How tall are you in centimeters?
Fuck, I knew you were going to ask me this. I want to say...
You don't even know.
187. Well, yeah.
Mr. Captain Familiar with the metric system over here doesn't even know his height in centimeters.
I don't think I do. I think it's... Like, does this sound right to you? 187.
No,
178.
Closer.
Okay, maybe it's 178 centimeters.
But I'm not 10 centimeters taller than you, am I?
I don't... What do you mean?
I'm about 189.
You'd easily be... You're a lot taller than me.
Am I?
Yeah, man. You're a tall drink of water, Guy Montgomery.
And are you thirsty?
Nope.
Do you want to drink my ingredients?
No.
Do you want me to lubricate your throat?
No, thank you, waiter. This one can go back to the kitchen.
Imagine a waiter coming over and asking your table if they'd like to have their throats lubricated.
I'd be like... I'd fucking leave the restaurant immediately. I don't even care if I've eaten some hors d'oeuvres.
Would Madame and Monsieur like me to perhaps lubricate their throats?
I'm fucking out of here. I'm out. If you need to charge me, you got to find me because I'm leaving right now. Track me down from the security footage. This man is a nightmare and I fear for my life.
If anyone's getting charged, it's this hypothetical waiter.
And he should be. He should be put behind bars for language like that.
Do you think meter should be spelled M-E-T-R-E or M-E-T-E-R?
So I think we're one of the only places in the world that does this shit. We do it with the word centre as well.
Centre?
Why do we put the R before the E? It doesn't make any sense.
It's nicer.
No, it isn't.
It is.
Why?
Because it's so boring for a word to go consonant, vowel, consonant, vowel, consonant. It's nice if it goes consonant, vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel. Ooh, what's this rhythm?
It's Kiwis not making sense. Who else does it?
Probably the Brits.
Probably the Brits. I don't even know if the Aussies...
Probably the Brits, yeah, and probably the Aussies, and probably the Aussies too.
What about Canadians? Do they do it?
Yeah, and probably Canadians too. Yeah.
Do you think it's?
I've got an audition this afternoon.
Do you really?
I got to do an American accent.
Where's this person from? Give me
America.
One. Give me Yank.
Literally, it says America.
Does it have a regionality?
No.
State.
Hey, how are you? Hey, how are you?
That is. I mean, that's here. That I'm hearing Canadian from that.
Hey.
Don't you think?
I don't know.
I think that guy's Canadian.
I hate it. I hate having to do it. I know I'm not going to get the job.
California. What's it for? Can you say?
No.
You can't?
No.
Is it a secret?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, true.
But I can tell you I'm not going to get it.
Okay.
And I'll tell you after the after the show.
Sweet. After the audition.
But it's these fuckers who are eavesdropping that can't know. Because these are the motherfuckers who will go running their mouths around town.
Can we refrain from calling our lovely listeners fuckers like over and over again? Would that be cool with you?
I'll stop calling them fuckers when they stop fucking, which they don't know how to do. Jesus These are my people.
You are all over the map.
I'm talking into the end of my erection like it's a microphone.
This is horrible content. I'm disgusted my name is attached to it.
Your name isn't just attached to it. You're the headline act.
Welcome to the final Emmanuelle in the set of 7 made-for-TV films. This is the worst idea of all time. A comedy podcast. I don't think I've ever called it that before.
Because it's not.
It's not. It's a
science.
film review podcast.
No, it's not even a film podcast.
What is it?
Infotainment.
Gross.
We bring information to the masses and we present it in digestible chunks. We do our research. We get on our computers. We're on encyclopediabritannica.com. We're on yourdictionary.com. We're looking up the origins of words and natural phenomena, and we're relaying what we find to you.
What's your favorite natural phenomena, Guy? Phenomenon?
I'm a big fan of wind.
Why do you like wind so much?
Where's it coming from?
What's so good about wind? Yeah, bro.
Where is it coming from?
Yeah.
And also, sometimes, why is it not there?
Man, okay, let's get into it. What is going on with wind?
I don't know where it
Where the fuck
starts.
does it come from? Because there's no wind in space.
No.
None.
It's all down here.
It's just we've got it.
And do you think it's the same bit of wind that's going around and sometimes it's visiting places?
I don't think it is. I think it's
different bits of wind.
Different wind.
Where is the bit of wind that comes through go then? When it's finished, what happens to it? If it's not the same bit of wind, where is all the wind going?
Goes to the ocean.
The fuck is it doing down there?
Not like into the water, but like over the ocean. It gets cold and then it goes, ooh, too cold. I'm gonna stop moving.
Does it what? Dissipate?
Yep, I guess so. Well, let's think about the wind. When it hits a tree, it stops, right?
It goes around the tree.
It does go around the tree. The tree is nothing to wind.
Yeah, winds don't know about trees.
Fuck, what's stopping
But
the
you better
wind?
believe trees know about wind.
Yeah, they know a lot about it.
They're influenced by wind.
Do you ever think about trees? I've been thinking about trees a bit recently.
Yeah, I've been known to think about trees.
How crazy would it be to be a tree? In that, I get it. Like it's this thing where it's all you know, right? So you couldn't take your human consciousness and experiences and kind of transpose that onto the experience of being a tree. But just there's something quite amazing about being a thing that is alive and not being able to kind of like affect your movement. Except maybe they can.
Do trees have moods?
I reckon. Definitely.
One of the few things I remember from the Lord of the Rings movies that I sort of imagined the visual of was those big trees that could walk. Like a tree that is sentience and can move around.
I used to know what they were called.
Big trees.
It's monosyllabic.
Yeah.
I know that.
Okay. Trees.
Fuck.
I'll tell you what irks me is you on mic trying to remember this. Anyway, I really like that as a representation of a tree.
Oh, those, yeah.
That's how I would like to think trees are.
These old warriors that band together.
Do you know what I was trying to
An ent.
Tree's better.
Yeah, tree is better. Just stick with
Tolkien
tree.
didn't stick the landing on Ent. Why does everyone like this guy so much?
I don't know, man. Are the books even that good? I read The Hobbit and I was like, I'm not reading those.
I read all of them when I was a teenager.
What'd you think?
I felt like I was reading them because I sort of picked up the notion that I was meant to read them and enjoy them.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay. I mean, I finished them, so they must have been good enough to power
They're not
through.
small
but
books.
I was on a lot, we were on
Hobbit
we were on family holidays and, everyone breaks off to read. It's just part of what would happen. Everyone would break off to read, and so whatever you had with you, it's not like you had the internet to read little bits of everything.
Got a friend of mine. His name's Tim. Shout out Tim Suggett if you're listening. He's probably not. I don't think he
You're
is.
full of shit.
And
You're
when
full of shit.
so he's
You're
one
a liar.
of three
you don't know
boys.
anyone called Tim Suggett.
And
You've never met another person called Tim in your life.
His parents
The Suggett family are a fictitious family.
would pay the
They don't
boys
exist.
a small amount of money to read books and do a little book report for them, and that is what I want to do with my kids, to really get them into reading.
It sounds like it's going to get them into money.
Yeah, actually, based on the results. Although Tim is a
First of all,
big
not
reader,
real.
big reader.
Yeah, you could say that.
But I
because
don't read.
he
Like
doesn't exist, so.
what it is a wistfulness because I wish I had better reading habits.
Dude, reading books is for losers.
It's not true, and you've got to stop going to Trump rallies.
Okay, I will do one thing. I will either stop going to Trump rallies or start reading books. You choose which.
Start reading books.
Okay.
What the fuck kind of dichotomy is this?
I don't know.
A bad one. No.
Okay, we won't. We won't talk about it. We'll talk about literally anything else.
Fuck. All right.
No.
I just wanted to get across the finish line of 10 minutes, which it just clicked over to be honest.
They're great. Tony the Tiger.
Yeah.
What
We
are your
didn't have
thoughts?
him really in New Zealand because we didn't. Oh, did we? We didn't really get like frosted.
No, they
flakes.
weren't
No, what are they called?
Frosties.
Frosties,
They
yeah.
weren't prominent as they are in the States.
Yeah, it's because New Zealand doesn't have an absolutely insane attitude toward breakfast. It's like, hey, what about dessert but backwards?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I just wake
Do you
up
know,
and inhale
I got
sugar?
the impression from America that everything was all good and everyone was cool with pretending that the candy they were having was cereal until Chips Ahoy released cookies.
Really?
It's cookie cereal, and everyone was like, okay.
I
You've
guess.
kind of punctured the bit. That's not cereal. Those are cookies.
So Lucky Charms was fine. It's
It was
like,
Lucky-
reading marshmallows,
Lucky
and
Charms,
milk, all good.
Fruit Loops,
Yeah.
fucking Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Everyone's like, cereal.
Yeah,
cereal.
yeah.
And
We're all good here.
and then they're like, chips. These are not.
Fuck. I can't believe they fucked it. They were teetering. The whole industry was teetering on the edge for
On a
so
knife's
long.
edge.
My God, you'd feel bad to be Chips Ahoy, wouldn't you? Responsible for the complete destruction of your own industry. I mean, it hasn't happened yet, but
Well, I think Chips Ahoy, they care less about the cereal. They're in cookies. You know, that's their
parlayed.
industry.
So were they always? I don't even understand this. Were Chips Ahoy a chocolate chip cookie company
Yeah.
that got into Bricky?
Yeah,
that's fucking funny. Like if Skittles were like, just put it in a bowl, chuck some milk in it.
Well,
this
Skittles,
is
like
breakfast.
in America, Skittles are already in a bowl. There's always a bowl of Skittles. So it's like all it takes is some plucky young inventor to come along with a pint of milk, fucking pour it over the top. Can you imagine eating a bowl of
I
Skittles?
can.
with
I
milk?
actually can, and it's not bad.
I hate it.
In my brain, it works. It fucking works.
Actually, speaking of milk,
Yeah.
there was a scene in Emmanuelle's Perfume where one of the characters
Oh my
who was
God,
being
I can't believe you've mentioned the film.
portrayed as classy was drinking milk out of a wine
It's
glass.
so good.
And I couldn't help but think of committed worst idea listener, the Brooks, who still to this day, like a fucking clock, posts a creative photo of a glass of milk in a different environment. It's like, this guy drinks milk like water.
The guy in the film or Brooks?
Brooks.
Yeah. He's incredible. The commitment to the bit is, in my online experience, unrivaled.
Absolutely.
Every day
unrivaled.
we get tagged into a new milk photo, and he deserves an award for it, frankly. And not like some bullshit internet award, an Emmy, I think. Emmanuelle's Perfume, should we get into it?
It makes, of all of the 7 on in-flight entertainment movies, it made, to me, the most sense. It was
Yeah.
like they sort of followed one cluster of characters in a fairly linear
I'm
fashion.
bored. I yawned hearing you mention the film. That's how boring it was, because it was so linear. You know?
It was good. That was good, though. It was easier to be sort of invested throughout because we weren't just being introduced to new characters every third.
Can I blow up your spot a little bit?
I wish you would.
Guy's fallen a little bit in love with Emmanuelle.
Oh, no. I don't know you're going to blow up my spot like that.
I asked. Hey, I'm with you, man.
I'm
with you. She is absolutely gorgeous, but it's beyond like.
I have a huge crush on Emmanuelle.
It's not just that
I feel
she's-
like a teenage boy.
It's not just that she's good looking. She's got like a charm. She's got like a kind of carefree
She's-
charisma to her.
She lives a wonderful life, and she has a pure heart. She is a cause for good, and also the films are very restrained. Like she is frequently, in proximity to various different people having sex or the movie's iteration of sex, but very rarely.
Which, by the way, involves a man wearing jeans
Yeah,
and a woman getting thrust upon into her belly button.
Yeah,
by
actually,
those jeans.
The first sex scene in this movie, the woman was on top and she was throwing her head around with such reckless abandon. I was absolutely convinced she was going to cause permanent nerve damage to her neck.
Absolutely,
It was insane.
Yeah, it made my neck hurt just watching.
But all
it.
of this to say that Emmanuelle's character is there's a lightness of touch. Everyone else is
all over the place.
yeah, but you know, we've spent 7 movies with her. I feel like we've been getting to know her, and
she wears cool clothes.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things where the perfect amount of time has rolled around again. It's been almost 30 years where fashion is reset. And they always made sure, I think, that Emmanuelle was in like particularly cool threads in the film. She's a Venezuelan model.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I like her.
Yeah.
And while...
She's only got one way to save a marriage, though. She seems to be involved in trying to patch up a lot of relationships, and the only way she knows how is for the guy to have sex with another woman.
Yeah,
but
it's pretty much every single time she goes to the wife, and the wife says, "I'm worried about my marriage," and she says, "I know," and gives him a little bit of the perfume, and then the wife becomes a different woman, fucks the husband,
like anamorphs,
and then returns to the husband as herself after she's fucked the husband as a different person, and says, "Hey," and the husband goes, "My God, I'm horny for you.
I'm horny for my wife." I'm going to tell you what happens in this movie, everybody. Are you listening? There's a guy named Sam. Sam wrote a book. The book turned into a movie. The movie went to Cannes. It won awards.
It was nominated for the Palme d'Or.
And then he got very concerned about impending failure because suddenly he had some success from which to fall. So in his insecurity, he runs off to Bali. Emmanuelle goes and joins him to try and coax him back to society. And while she's there, his parents come over to...
they do it every year.
It's an annual tradition. 50 years they've been going.
And it's their 50th wedding anniversary. For their wedding anniversary, they go to the same hotel. They stay in the same room every year.
And Emmanuelle apparently always gets them a gift as well, which is nice. So this time she got the book because they hadn't read it, which is kind of fucking bad parenting. She bought Sam's book for the parents to read. But also, at the same time, she gave this old married couple who are, 80 in the film, a little touch of the perfume. So they both transform into 26-year-olds and then fuck a bit. And then the dad reads the book tears up because the book is all about how Sam didn't get what he needed as a child from his parents, which is a very weird element to put in this porno. And then they go and fuck some more, and then they fuck some more.
No, the important detail that you've understandably skated over is that they fuck.
Oh, yeah.
The dad reads the book, he cries.
Yeah.
The wife comes over and says, "What's got you feeling sad?" And he goes, "I'm just reading the book." And then she starts seducing him again, and by giving him a blowjob. And then while he's getting the blowjob, he can't focus or enjoy the blowjob because he keeps being like, "Should I tell her that Sam didn't like mashed carrots?" Heck. I didn't like mashed carrots either.
Folks, this is done in voiceover, so it's in a monologue. And it's so odd as an idea, and the way that they orchestrate it is bad as well, because he's like, "Should I tell her?" And then it goes back to the blowjob, like to her giving the blowjob. "Should I tell her about chapter 3? Back to her. "Should I tell her about in chapter 3 how Sam described that he doesn't like mashed carrots?" It's like, what the fuck is going on? The script is wild.
Yeah, the relationships to this franchise and food is really enjoyable. At one point, there's a blonde woman. So you're doing a great job of recounting the plot.
Thank you, Guy.
So please continue, and then I will recount this other fantastic food line later on. Do you know what I'm thinking of?
No. Oh, yes.
Yeah. So the parents are reunited. They're fucking. Eventually, they meet Sam. Sam's like, "Well, this is a trip, but I'm just going to go with it." Emmanuelle's happy. Everyone's happy. The 4 of them, Emmanuelle and Sam, travel back to Cannes. The parents travel there. Sam is embarrassed. His parents are now younger than him, so he passes them off as his brother and his brother's partner.
No. He passes... Who's big? I think you're...
Which one of these 2 search terms?
Mate, can you fuck that off? I don't want Bixby in here.
What did I say?
I don't know. I heard it triggered before. I thought what happened is that he was trying to pass his mum off as his own wife, which is fucked up.
No. He was passing his mum and dad off. He was saying his dad was his younger brother, and his mum was his younger brother's partner.
Sister-in-law.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
But so they're back in Cannes.
And they're meeting rich and famous people, but also there's a waitress.
And Sam falls in love with the waitress. They're having a meal. The waitress is there. There are some rude people who are being rude to the waitress. One of the people who's rude to the waitress is this fantastic blonde woman who, apropos of nothing, picks up a bunch of grapes and says, "I love radishes."
Yeah, she does. And then an accent that I couldn't track down. If you gave me an atlas and you said, where's that woman from? I wouldn't know. I would just sweep the whole of Europe and say somewhere in there, I guess.
So
Sam ends up fucking a different woman who is rude to the waitress.
That's right. And then Emmanuelle goes and visits him as a spectre and says, hey, why are you fucking this woman? And Sam says, because I'm in love with the waitress. And Emmanuelle says, okay. And then Sam kicks the woman who he's had sex with out of the room, visits the waitress, they fall in love. They get married.
They have twins.
But all of a sudden they're trapped in this sexless marriage. So the woman asks Emmanuelle to visit them. She does.
Don't gloss over that, because I think that was an interesting angle that an Emmanuelle movie explored. They were like, okay, happily ever after, or is it? And then it was flash forward a year into the, I guess it was more than a year.
It was a year.
It was a year, right? They'd had the twins. Gotta say, she's looking fantastic for someone who had twins 3 months ago. And she's like, hey, listen, things are fine, but we're not fucking anymore. No big deal. And Emmanuelle's like, mate, the biggest of deals. You gotta fuck.
Yeah.
And so Emmanuelle does the old body switch magic potion-aroo and comes...
The wife transforms into a different woman, breaks into her own house, pretends her car's broken down, seduces the husband, and then they fuck. She charges him $1,000 for fucking her.
He gives her $500.
He gives her $500. She leaves, and then the wife returns and says, "What have you been doing?" And he's like,
"Not fucking someone for $500.
Not paying a woman who entered our home $500 to have sex." And then they have glorious
again
sex, and the credits roll. And it just was such a neat, it was just neat to experience a movie that was easy to follow from start to finish.
This one was the laziest one, though, in terms of filmmaking, I think, because the scenes lasted really long and very little happened. So I feel like they ran out of money.
Yeah, they might have, but I liked it. I mean, I had a real flash of, a pang of desire, maybe, for Emmanuelle's lifestyle. What does she do? She travels around the world, young, beautiful woman, endless budget.
Helps people,
magic perfume, helps people. And I was like, this looks like a really great sort of enjoyable life, removed from reality. I was like, this looks good. But then when I think about Sylvia Kristel's character, older Emmanuelle, recounting the experience to Lazenby, I see the consequence of it, which is in actuality, when she's living the life as a young person, it looks really wonderful. But then when I see...
Because there's no depth.
Yeah, when I see Sylvia Kristel and I'm like, but this is what your life is reduced to now, just recounting your youth to fucking whoever you sit next to on a plane, it becomes quite sad and hollow.
This is probably the actual moral of Emmanuelle, isn't it? Is that you can't be... You got to have a little bit more of a global picture in your life, I think.
A global picture?
I think so.
What do you...
I know that she helps her friends and stuff, but it's still just everything feels very self-centered around Emmanuelle. And that is one way to live. And if you do, you end up on a plane next to George Lazenby recounting far too long stories. Thank God she's got Lazenby. Oh, one funny bit in this film, I'll tell you what. The mum before she has... Oh, wait, maybe it's after
before
the
they go to Cannes.
She says, I hope I get to meet that Roger Moore.
He's so cute.
A rival Bond.
Yeah. But...
One of the best.
Really?
Absolutely.
Is it
he
more...
was a light touch. He is the funniest Bond there's ever been.
Really?
And his eyebrows did 50% of the work. Big eyebrow guy.
Who are the best? Moore and Connery, famously.
Everyone loves Connery. Everyone says he's the best. I don't know. I like Roger Moore. I like Pierce Brosnan.
Oh, well, Brosnan was our Bond.
Yes.
I think future generations won't care about Bond.
Yeah, nor should they.
Yeah.
Well, they should reboot it with a woman. That's the coolest thing to do. They were talking about getting, Gillian Anderson to be Bond. That would be fucking awesome.
From the X-Files.
Yeah, dude. And Sex Education more recently.
Oh, wow.
How good would that be?
It would be okay. I don't have a huge relationship to the Bond franchise.
Do you to Gillian Anderson, though?
No, I didn't really watch X-Files.
Did you watch Sex Education?
No, but I hear it's great.
Oh, I reckon you'd really like it. Anyway, look.
People go ballistic for that show.
I mean, it's just good. It's just very watchable. It's not earth-shattering. It's just really good. Unlike this film franchise. Can I say that?
Boner Inspector!
Nothing here, dude. I'm so sorry. You're gonna have to look elsewhere. Did you crack a fat this week, guy?
No, but there was a
got
period
close?
where I was excited to when there's a
We got to see Emmanuelle topless in this one. That's always pretty cool.
that was when I was the most close to having an erection.
Yeah, nice one.
When
bro.
Emmanuelle was having, because Emmanuelle and Sam have a sort of, they're old friends in a sort of when Harry met Sally kind of way, where it's like they're old friends and it's imagine nothing will happen before them. But we see Emmanuelle having this really crazy experience of like, she sees Sam having sex with someone and she's like, whoa, what if that was me? And then we see her visualizing her and Sam having sex. And again, it was like, there's something about Emmanuelle's, we spend the most time with her, but we spend the least time with her having sex with all the characters in the franchise. And so when she is having sex and you're like, I actually like this person.
Real
and you're
supply,
watching them have
supply and demand curve
Yeah.
situation, eh?
This is this is one of the foremost economic texts.
Yeah,
This film
I agree.
explains the basics so clearly, so well, so sensual.
If you give us so much screen time of a character who's pretty cool and everyone else is fucking all the time, but they're not fucking so much, then you just naturally
Sex
go...
in the City tried to do that with Carrie Bradshaw.
Yeah, it didn't quite work though.
Didn't quite work though, no.
Quite work.
Because the more time we spent with her not having sex, the more we realised the reason she's not having sex is she's insufferable.
Yeah, she doesn't deserve sex.
I would like to bring back our recurring segment, Picture Porno with George Lazenby.
How does this work?
Pitch me a porno,
Just
and
anything.
I'm George Lazenby, and I am the judge of whether or not it's a good porno.
We open on a mansion in downtown upstate New York.
Oh, Tim, you're incorrigible. Tell me more.
A ring at the doorbell. Interior. Over the shoulder shot of a woman who looks to be between 30 and 40 years of age with long flowing brunette hair answers the door in a night robe. It's a pizza for her.
Oh, what's her name?
We don't know yet.
Oh,
Give it time.
what's the pizza delivery person?
Hold on for a fucking second, Lazenby.
Okay.
The door opens. Pizza delivery man says, Boner Inspector!
Oh, I'm sorry. This pizza delivery man is also working a job as a boner inspector. Is the pizza for the lady? I have many questions.
The pizza is for the lady. You're such a good listener. So Nicole, who we are soon to find out is her name, she says, my large pepperoni. What was that about a boner? And he said, here's your pizza and here is your boner. And he hands over the pizza box and then he points with both hands to his pants and he's got a massive erection holding a pizza. She is disgusted and slams the door on his face. He hasn't even got the money for the pizza and there's no way he can ask for it now because he'll be rightly accused of some sort of sexual predation. Is that a word? Maybe. So he leaves, gets in the car, and then
I've heard enough.
oh no.
This is terrible.
Yeah, it's not my best work. Do you want to pitch one to me, George?
Okay. It's me, and I'm 74.
I'm out. Nah,
Okay,
I'm pulling the plug.
I'll try next week.
Okay, sounds good. And that was Picture Porno with George Lazenby.
The world's greatest listener.
Any listening tips from George this week?
When listening, try to, if you're having a little bit of trouble concentrating to what the person is saying, imagine something that you find more interesting.
That is good. But then doesn't your mind wander a little bit, George?
Inevitably,
Yeah, okay. So you can get caught out doing that one.
you almost always will.
Okay. Thanks, George.
No worries.
George Lazenby, everybody.
One of the greats.
Rest in power.
He's still going.
Yeah, when he dies. When he dies, it was a future instruction.
I was actually on his website earlier. I'll see if I can get it up for us. The guy
Get
is
it up?
obviously a fan of
For George Lazenby.
Get it up with George Lazenby.
Getting it up with George Lazenby, a website review segment on this podcast, the worst idea of all time. George Lazenby got it up. He got it up on squarespace.com, who definitely aren't giving us any money, nor ever have they, nor will they.
Dear friends and fans,
Don't.
I'm happy to welcome you to my website. It'll be a journey through my life and times, becoming Bond and beyond.
How's the UI?
Really fucking breezy, man.
Yeah, like you can click on, you know where to go.
What do you want? You want to buy his autograph? You want to see what events he's got
Fuck
coming
yeah,
out?
how much is an autograph from George Lazenby?
By the way, if you don't know what George Lazenby looks like, Google young George Lazenby. The dude is a fucking piece.
He was a model/actor, and the model comes first in that.
For €45, you can get a signed photograph of Lazenby from Bond's On Her Majesty's Secret Service. It's
Man, that's not a lot, eh?
210 by 148 millimeters, printed on
200
high quality, glossy photo paper, free worldwide shipping.
What?
Sold out.
Hold the fucking phone. Free worldwide shipping's where they get you. That's
Yeah.
incredible that price includes shipping.
There are
Fuck me.
a variety of different Bond photos that you can get that he signs as Lazenby 007.
Well, fair play to him. Do you reckon that's paying his mortgage?
He married a very successful tennis player late in life,
I didn't know that.
and they have children, but they've since
Can you get that microphone a bit close to your mouth?
they've since separated.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Pam Shriver.
Of the
No.
Shrivers? Of the Maria Shrivers?
No, but did she win? I don't know if she ever won a major. She won 21 doubles titles.
That's a lot.
She made it to the final of the US Open in 1978 and the semi-finals at Wimbledon 3 times and the Australian Open 3 times.
Incredible. Hey, well done, George.
Yeah.
Way to support an athlete by marrying them.
There you go. Shriver has 2 sisters, Marion and Eleanor, who lives in Maryland and is the 4th cousin of Maria Shriver.
Fourth cousin is actually very distant.
It's on her wiki page.
Mm-hmm. They're just looking for stuff to fill in, though, aren't they? Not a lot of
I'm
paragraphs.
not ready to make a nice. It's too late to back down. That's the Dixie Chicks.
What was your favourite piece? What was your shining light of this film? And if you want to get down in the mud and say it was young Emmanuelle's breasts, I'll allow it.
I wasn't. It wasn't that, and I wasn't going to even. I was going to probably go with something to do with grapes. This movie's relationship to food is endlessly amusing to me. But I will say this: there was a moment when I was feeling my crush on Emmanuelle, when I did genuinely feel the nostalgia of being a young teenage boy and being like, I like this person, and that was sweet.
Oh, that's cute. Can you attach that to a particular bit in the film, or just in general? It's just a general thing the film did for you.
It was around the same time that I was like, Emmanuelle's got a cool life. It was like this weird sort of time when I was almost actually immersed in the movie instead of watching it, inside of our relationship to what we're doing. And I was like, this woman is beautiful and she's traveling the world. And it was just a flash of being engaged with the materials as you are meant to be instead of as we usually are, which is frustrated and bored. Yourself?
There's parts in these movies, because they do so much traveling, where you're clearly seeing like a real person who's not acting. They've got a camera in front of them. And when they go to Bali in this one, there's a cool Balinese dancer that you just get a little clip of for about sort of 5 seconds. And you could tell, like, she's not acting. She's a Balinese dancer who they put a camera in front of. And I liked that. A bit of realism in the film. Another bit was when Sam's parents, after they've had the spell, so they're young, involved in an orgy, and Guy Montgomery floated the idea that because their heart is no longer pure, they may break the spell and transform back into old people mid-orgy, which would have been truly a sight to behold.
Yeah, it would have been incredible.
I'm escaped.
I would just like to say that it's been real watching these 7 Emmanuelle films with you, and I'm very excited for what comes next, because it's no longer are we trapped on an airplane with these guys. And who better to tell you where the franchise is going next than the great Tim Curry?
I'm escaping to the one place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism. Space!